We're live?
Yes!
Good morning and welcome back to the studio. I'm David Austin with davidaustingallery.com. Today we're going to get crazy on some black gesso canvases. I picked up a bunch of these, 5 for a ridiculously low amount at, where do we go? Where is that?
Oh, that was at Michael's. Nothing like coupons.
So I had some fun with it a little bit earlier this week. I've done this before. Here's an example of one. Just going a little bit nuts with some technique on it. And I'm going to do something else today. I'm basically going to throw everything I can at these 3 canvases. These 2 I prepped a little earlier with just some brush strokes with some watered down latex white. And I love to keep that white gesso around. It's a little bit thinner than regular gesso or white latex flat paint. And I can play with that as background or blending colors together. It's really crazy. Music is just,
I'm driving you crazy.
it's like 80s synth music.
Jazzercise.
No. So today, one of the things, by the way, we're going to get painting, and we're going to get painted in a second. Anyway, so one of the things I like to do to kind of get my juices going, my creativity in the morning and when I start painting is to use oblique strategies from Brian Eno and Peter Schmidt. And these are a bunch of cards with just random little phrases and words on them. And these are great. So you can order it right from their website. It's an English website, but we ordered these from them. It came. Anyway, every day I draw one, and so we're getting ready for our show today. And I drew just before the show. It says, "Use unqualified people." And if ever there was unqualified people to do a show, it's us. So there we are. That's what it is. So I'm going to try to use as much as I can here. And feel free to ask questions. I'm just going to start moving around with some of the material. I've got my favorite acrylic paints from Amsterdam today, from Royal Talons, North America. Love their paint. And then I have some random stuff that's been wandering around the studio for a while, like remnants of my mom's Winsor Newton paint that she used. Some spray cans that are around. This is acrylic latex. Black gesso, my favorite tool. Water bottles. This is the paint sticks from Craft Smart. These are white labeled like crazy, so everybody has these. But these are the bigger ones, and they're just really fun because you can get a lot of big color in a big hurry, and I think they're just great. They're good for blending. They're super cheap, and it's a tempera paint, right? Isn't it tempera?
Yeah, it's a tempera.
The tempera paint. So that's nice. It's got a binder in it that actually makes it semi-water resistant when it dries.
Yes, there you go.
Words. I got my words going today.
Word
salad happening. So this is a little bit damp. You can't tell, but this is just a little bit moist. So it's going to do some very interesting things when I take some of this paint over the top of it. Whoa! That hot pink is so hot, it wanted to get right out of that tube and onto the canvas. Okay, this is going to be cool. Didn't I say it was going to be cool? Come on, that's cool. I'm going to do this side now. Love my giant palette knives. They're just so much fun.
Oh, hi, Tenzin. Good to see you again.
If you lay it flatter, it puts the paint on a little thicker and more opaque. Come on, who doesn't like that?
I'm a little surprised you're painting on top of the paper today.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But yeah, this is the big canvas or big piece of paper that I've been working on for a while. And I decided I'm going to treat it like I do my painting surface and do some crazy wacky stuff with it. So now I'm going to take some of the gesso. This is actually the flat white paint. I'm just going to layer this on pretty thick here. come back to that in a second.
What kind of chocolate did you use last week?
Chalk?
Somebody wanted, they forgot.
Chocolate or chalk?
Chalk.
Chalk.
You talk about the pastels, maybe?
Yeah, so I was using Rembrandt pastels.
Not the oil.
Yeah, and it's a soft pastel. Really, really awesome stuff.
Welcome in, everybody. Wow,
That's
it's
gonna
a
have to dry.
big crowd over on TikTok today. 188 people.
Nice. Love the texture I can get with this thing. Just so much fun.
You want to talk about that brush?
Yeah, I wandered into the hardware store and saw this awesome thing. I'm going to use it on some really big pieces. It's a wallpaper brush, I found out. Somebody actually knew what it was for a couple of times ago. I didn't realize what it was for.
Let's see.
So that's just a paper plate there. Let's do something crazy weird on that. And we're going to take this. I think I have enough in here. There we go. This is a little more liquidy. Let's pour that right around the edge of that. Maybe. So that's a paper plate I put down there. Right now I'm getting some black gesso on it.
All right, then what are you going to do with it?
I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I just thought of doing it this morning, so I thought I would try it today. I've often said in the thing, you know, I'll try something new and it either works or it fails. Either way, we get to learn together on these things, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's fun. Who knows that reference from? So we'll let that stew for a few minutes there. That'll be fun to see what happens. One of the things I also like to do is, you know, is my handy spray bottle. I like this Fine Mist spray bottle a lot.
I like to do wet into wet technique a lot.
A lot. I'm going to get that into that black area nice and thick. And then I'm going to take, I've got a number of different chalks. I've got some reds here. This is the Rembrandt pastels. Drawing right through. Remember, a lot of this is very wet already. The gesso I put on earlier is pretty wet. So that was the red, and then I have a Conti crayon left over from my mom's supply. This goes back from when I went to college, and that's 2 years ago, something like that, right? So this is left over when I went, and Mom gave me a bunch of art supplies from her college and university days, so it's pretty cool. And they have, Sakura has some new, I don't know if it's new, but they have this kind of thing out. And Royal Towns did a really brief video of it, and that's what made me think of. So far, I haven't found all of her crayons that we had. Conti crayons, I think is what they call them. Correct me if I'm wrong. So clearly, I'm an abstract artist. Anyone notice that today? I don't know. This is a from Rembrandt, soft pastel, kind of a fleshy color. I've been working that fleshy color in a lot to my work. Hey, come back here.
I think that started after we were watching that art documentary on. He was the figurative painter.
Well, de Kooning was something that
That's it.
I've always really admired his work. I didn't always necessarily understand it. That was always the thing. I didn't always necessarily understand his work, but I appreciated it. And I like just a hint of that flesh tone. It's like it could be a person, or maybe not. You know, I think it adds a humanization kind of thing. Humanization, is that a thing? So this is simply sidewalk chalk. I told you I was going to use a bunch of stuff today.
Alameda, California, welcome this morning. Sorry that the phones keep shaking. This stand is not the most stable. Good morning. Thank you for the follows over there on TikTok this morning.
Okay.
Wonderful to have you here.
Now this is another favorite tool of mine right here. Just a simple tile grout for setting tiles. And I like to use it because it adds a lot of structure. You can do some wave patterns with it. You can can really get some line quality. It's just really fun to do, to use. And watch this. It's going to pull that gesso
Just
down.
get close, real. Get a little closer here. Do something. There you go.
Let's pull that right over there. It's nice because we have the studio open. It's going to be 70 degrees in Duluth, Minnesota today.
We are jammed.
I'm so excited.
We are like excited about it.
Very excited.
We went and bought plants.
Just a little bit of plants.
Couple plants.
We couldn't help ourselves. And this is that Winsor Newton. It's thinned down. So I'm just going to go ahead.
Ooh, that's a really bright green.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this and see where that leads me. Could lead nowhere. We'll see.
105 in Arizona. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. That's
Can't
warm.
be too much of a good thing, I suppose.
That's warm. All right, let's take the sponge thing, and I think we're going to do some weird sponge sort of plant, almost plant leaves, abstract with plant leaves. And I still like the lines. I've used this for years. I hear the train. It's the weekend train.
The tourist train that comes right by our house. It's so fun.
And I can scrape through some of this too, using my handy palette. All right, so I'm curious to see what's under here, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the other black one out. And I'm going to take this off carefully.
Let's just get a close up of that.
And then I'm going to do this. What? Ready, set, go. We'll come back to that later.
That's why we need aprons.
The aprons are back up.
Yay, we found a new
finally
printer.
reloaded the aprons. We're so excited by that. Took a while. Supply chain issues were definitely an issue. And this is a black chalk. And what chalk is this? It's charcoal with a K.
Okay. Hi. Oh, Australia.
Nice.
53 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not a bad day, really. If it's sunny, it feels like 70. And if there's no wind.
53, that's hot. Isn't that hot?
No, it's 12 degrees Celsius, 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay.
Got 52 Celsius. Ooh.
That'd be like very warm, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I have to admit, we're terrible because we've never really converted to the metric here.
No.
So doing some mark making with the charcoal again, that's kind of fun.
I think I burned the back of my neck yesterday.
Let's move this over here and see where it goes. Painting with a plate, just saying.
Use what you have. Create without fear.
Create without fear. Use that hashtag. Live that hashtag. I'm in a weird place today. Not really weird. I'm happy because it's nice out. It's just nice. So, all right. So one of the other things I'm going to do that's nutty, and I'm gonna do it. I think I don't know. These are just a cacophony of colors, and that's what I was intending to do, was just to load these up like crazy. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to use the chalk up here.
Good morning, everybody just joining us.
Let's switch places with him for a moment. Let's get that one down here. Come on down. Switch places. What is that game? Remember that slidey game you used to
Oh,
slide
with the
things?
little puzzles and you
Yeah,
make a picture. It's a
that's
mosaic puzzle game. Yeah, I remember those.
So where is that? There it is. I'm gonna do something else now. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it this way. And here's the spray can. This is a gray, plain old gray. But apparently, an opening that's not working. Maybe I should have shook it a little more. The doors are open, by the way. The windows are open today. I do not recommend spray paint in your studio without having the doors open. This is my opinion, I'm sticking with it. Or a breather. You should. By rights, you should have a breather mask down when you're doing this.
All right, Sweden, welcome.
Sweden. We've been looking at properties in Sweden. Not that we can afford it, but it's fun to look.
We have to sell a lot of aprons.
Or any paint quality things would be fun. Any paintings, please. That didn't work at all very well, did it? I don't know. I did say these have been around for a while, but I did just use this yesterday.
Anybody have any questions this morning?
Okay, let's take that.
Afternoon, middle of the night, wherever you are?
There you go. Check that
I
out.
know in Australia it's like the middle of the night right now, isn't it?
Let's do that now. Take a little lime green over the top of that. Now what you're going to notice too is this spray paint is going to react with the thicker black gesso, or the thinner black gesso, which is going to be pretty nifty. Actually take this. Now we can do this over here. I don't think I want to do that though. I'm going to do that here and see what happens. Probably nothing. Yeah, I didn't really do anything. But if I take that black now and bring it over to here, press that on there. We have a pattern. That pattern was created. You got issues?
Well, you gave me a 3-foot wide space to work in.
There's a painting behind her on the floor. I started this morning, when I got up really early. The problem is it's it's really close to where she is. I wasn't thinking, it's super early morning, right? All right, so here's some craziness. I don't even know if this is going to work. These are, what are these called?
Is that Orbeez?
Orbeez. And I put some fluorescent orange paint in them. And now I'm going to put some on the paint on this thing.
How to make people understand abstract. You can't.
Yeah, either abstract is, somebody had a really good explanation the other day. I don't know what there it goes over there. I don't really know.
I think you have to have an open enough mind to start with.
So those are Orbeez. Let's see what happens with that. They're on there.
See, if I'd known you were going to use Orbeez, I would have titled this painting with Orbeez. Yeah, I'm sorry they make you irate with the question. I think maybe, how do you deal with the
they're all over the place.
The obnoxious questions Shavana wants to know?
Kristen answers them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't. Shavana, that's a good question, and it's a serious question too. How do we all deal with that? It gets to be very difficult at times to have.
Oh, the ones where they walk by and go, I guess that's art.
Oh, that's a fun one. Yeah.
Those are fun. Or somebody will like that. And you're just like, yeah, somebody will. I always greet it with enthusiasm.
Yeah, you do a good job of that, actually. I just don't even have the patience for it anymore, so I don't even respond half the time. Because I've been doing this for 30 years, 40 years. Well, I guess I'm 50, so I've been doing it a long time. And this is a cheapish sort of hobby paint here that I'm just taking right out of the bottle because it's been sitting around a long time. Like I said, I'm trying to clear the drawers of extra paint material that I've literally had. I think I've had this 20 years.
Hi, Brahim.
So yeah, we're doing some house cleaning today.
Back to Shavana's question.
Yeah.
You don't need to be everybody's emotional garbage can either.
No.
If they're having a feeling and you don't have to take that feeling and make it yours.
Well, that's a fact. Yeah, especially as an artist.
Yeah.
You do have to have a thick skin. I mean, you gotta have a thick skin. I mean, what are you gonna do? Do you argue with them? There's no point in arguing. Either somebody's either gonna like your stuff or not like your stuff.
You could always, when they say, "What does it mean?" you could just say, "What do you think it means?"
I always come back and I'll start it that way. I'll say, "Oh, really? Well, I'm always interested. It's an audience. Look, making this stuff and then putting it out there. is an audience participatory art process. So the reaction of the people looking at it is part of that. It's like performance art. It's not really performance art, but it is. What is it? Abramovich, one performance artist, female performance artist. Look her up. She did a lot with nude people and big groups of people interacting with things. I think she's also the one that did the stare down with everybody, or you stared into each other's eyes across the table. And she's filming it, doing that stuff. That's in essence, when you put your art out there, that's what you're doing. It's a performance, because now, so you have every right to ask the audience, what do you think of it? What is your opinion of abstract art? Turn it around on them. Make them, it's their job to then describe to you what's good or not good art. And then I always, if they don't like my art, I'm like, okay, great. Who you appreciate as an artist? Tell me what kind of art you're looking for. And you struck up a conversation, and it might lead to eventually an understanding of abstract art. Somebody else just did this a little bit ago, didn't they? I forget who that was.
Yeah, that's the thing, Shavana. They're there to take away your joy. Don't let them do it.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that. I don't see any reason to be a critical person. I really don't. Life's too short. I got better things to do than to be critical. That was a realization I think Kristen and I both came to. It's not just us, but others. There's no reason to allow others' criticism affect you in a negative manner. And Kristen's brutally honest with me about my art. So, I really had to get a thick skin. So it could be worse, you could have her as an art critic.
That's true, but
I'm just kidding.
I feel like anything less would be dishonest in the relationship.
No. Yeah, for sure. And I've asked for her to be, we want to be comfortable in describing the art and our performances, and By the way, thanks for cooking the other day. I know I said that chicken was overcooked.
Oh yeah, I almost
threw
a piece of chicken at you.
I thought about it as we're going to bed later. I'm like, well, that's kind of a jerky thing to say.
Well, thank you for apologizing, but it really was overcooked. He was totally right.
I was totally right.
It was.
But I didn't necessarily need to say it. I guess. I don't know why I blurted it out.
How do you sign your work? Got a question here.
Sometimes on the front, always on the back. I sign it with my name and the website. So if somebody sells a painting or sees a painting, they have that reference, and then occasionally there's a title involved. On the front, small pieces, I'll maybe use my initials DKA, or I'll sign in pencil if I want it more subtle. If my signature is part of an obnoxious statement about communication and language, then I might sign it in gold or something, in big scrolling letters. So my signature a lot of times becomes part of that painting. Some of those big ones, the 4x8s, Kristen, the signature is like not in the corner. It's way back in the corner.
I know.
Sorry, YouTube.
They like to see this.
But back in the corner, those big, the signatures are actually hidden within the context of the painting, which I think is pretty interesting to do.
Let's see. Lincoln Park, Chicago. That's where you're at. We have a Lincoln Park in Duluth.
Yeah.
I think there's a Lincoln Park in every city.
I think there is. It's a requirement to have a Lincoln Park. So this has been very interesting, some of this stuff. I don't know if I like the Orby concept or not, but it's on there now.
You did a thing.
I did a thing, and now I'm going to undo something and do a scrape. One of the things I've really enjoyed for a while has been the Soji screens. Soji. And so I'm going to do a scrape along that line. I'm going to use a thinner.
Well, one of the homes that we designed that we never got to build had a Soji screen between the living room and the kitchen.
Where'd the gold go?
San Diego.
Did you hide the gold from me?
How do you title your paintings?
Sometimes they're not titled, and she makes it up for me.
Frequently when it's like a more impactful piece, though, that he's been working on for a while, sometimes he'll just start it with the title in his mind.
Yeah. Over here, these are all title ideas, some of which have been used.
Just the post-its on the wall.
One of them is like gilded accretion. Others might just be simple. Automaton is another one that's up there that I've used a couple times. a lot of stuff I do is with language. The concept of language. Some of the bigger pieces. If you go to the website, davidaustingallery.com, or you have followed me for any length of time, you will see a lot with things that I consider gibberish, which is pretty much all language. I don't understand any of it. I've tried. I've taken French. I've taken German. I'd like to take some other languages too. All right, this is going to be interesting. I have not done what I've done here before, so I'm sharing with you potential disaster.
I suddenly saw the Swedish chef with the chicken going over the shoulder. When he did that.
That's from the Muppets, so nobody get offended. It's just a Muppet reference. Because you cannot have our show without at least one or two obscure references to television or movies.
Yep.
It's a nice day out. It's really nice. It's good to see the kids outside playing too. All right, here we go. This is going to be disastrous, I think.
All right, let's get in close to see the mess.
So what I'm hoping is going to happen, and it is happening. Check that out. Yes, this is exactly what I was hoping for. But I need a container to put my excess debris in. Save it for later.
Saver.
Oh, that's pretty. It's a drip painting inside of a cup. So now I'm going to do it again. You can't overdo it. It's like a single scrape. If you do more than one scrape, you will end up having a big mess. It makes it muddy. Put that in there for later. So you can see the previous colors, the chalk, all that stuff embedded within the gesso, right? And now, as I'm pulling, anything that has any absorbency left is taking the gold in on itself. And that is really cool. I got a little off my angle there.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Tabitha. Always great to have new people here. Everybody who's just never been here before, we do this 10:30 a.m. Central Time every Saturday.
No, I think that's pretty nifty, personally. I really do. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Except this one I'm going to use one single pole. So I'm going to get my big one out. The big one. Let's see which size that is. That one? That'll leave something on the side. Actually, that could be interesting. Just a pole down the middle or something. Or we got the big one here. Big boy. Let's do one hole. It's going to be messy. Okay, Orbeez. Here we go. The problem is that this thing's going to want to travel on me, so I'm going to have to hold the painting.
I will ask him that question as soon as he's not distracted. Yeah.
Whoa! Okay, that's just cool.
I think we might actually have different answers to this question. Let's see. What do you think about artists who sign with an alias? I sign with Bricks because it's my creator's name.
Oh. I don't think there's a problem. Writers do that all the time. Not all the time, but several writers do that.
Yeah.
If you're really worried about privacy, I mean, you got people like Banksy, right? And, you know, his was born out of the need to not be arrested for his art. And you got other guys and gals that are doing stuff like that. And I think it's a really fascinating thing to maybe do that. Is it necessary? I don't know. In some cases, I think it's necessary, but not necessary.
I would just want to stress to leave behind a trail if you are. So later on.
Yeah, if you want to be famous. If you don't ever want that fame, then don't do it. Don't do that. You know who was the writer that he wrote the one masterpiece and then never wrote again, supposedly?
J.D. Salinger?
Salinger, yeah. I mean, there's an example of somebody that he wrote his name and then he got out there and he was like, I don't like this. He was done. He left, right? So I think there's some validity in doing that.
Question:
Yes.
Do you teach outside of this?
No, but that's a very good question. I should, huh? Should I do that? Maybe I should do that.
We've been thinking about holding some in-person classes lately.
Well, this was cool. Check that out, right? Both of these are really neat. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to take these out of here. And the thing is, I wanted to take this stuff down. I don't like this orange and the green in there. But if I pull right now, it's going to change that dynamic. You know, it's going to create a different texture in there. So I'm having a hard time with that. I might do another pull. Hang on a minute. Let me find something small.
Yeah, I think also because he grew up with a teacher. His mom was a teacher for 35 years.
An art teacher.
An art teacher, no less. But I think he sort of gathered some of that through osmosis.
I'm looking for a tool. Really, I'm not lost.
No one's ever lost.
I know my old studio. I tell you, I got those new ones, and I don't know where they went. The new smaller ones.
And actually, next Saturday, the show is a class.
Yeah,
We actually do
I
have a
forgot
class.
about that.
We have a class coming next weekend.
That's right. We got 6 abstract artists from the area coming, along with Sue Rauschenfels, who you remember, if you go back a couple of episodes, she painted the collage with me here in the studio.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that kind of thing once a month, so stay tuned for that, where we paint with other artists from our region and help promote them a little bit. Yeah.
Or anybody traveling through the area?
Traveling, yeah. Come up north. Let's do a live. Come on in. All right, I really don't want to use that. I'm gonna have to do it differently. I can't find the piece.
Thank you for the follow piece.
There we go.
Appreciate it.
Let's try this.
What are you doing? Oh, you
Well,
got the little tool.
I'm gonna use my,
Let's see.
because I'm trying to get this a little bit less of everything. Because I don't like the lines in there right at the moment. But I don't want to scrape the whole thing because it'll change the character of the piece in a way that I'm not really wanting to do. So I did that. I like that better now, I think. What do you think, Kristen? I think this one's got to come down again.
Yeah, it looks weird.
That's a little better. What do you think? We there?
Hard to know because I'm upside down. And I have little waves.
You should see her. She's standing on her head during this whole thing. She's operating the cameras with her toes. It's crazy in here. Didn't know that was happening behind the scenes, did you guys? This is cool. I'm actually going to turn it around and show you this one. And I'm going to leave it alone and come back later maybe with some pencil, some more charcoal type things, or maybe some, I don't know what. But this is all new. This is kind of a brand new, built on previous things we were doing. So let me put this over here somewhere. Ugh. Hopefully no one will step on that. We'll clean this one off here because I'm going to do a big pull over this paper next. Because look at all the paint we have on here. Oh, check this one out. Sorry, I almost took it away without showing you guys. Cool.
So these are the first few layers of what will probably be many, many layers.
It could be, yeah. Like I said, I'm really fascinated with the Shoji screens. So for me, this kind of thing, I can't tip this one. This one we didn't scrape, remember? So I can't even show it. Hang on. Okay, so that one I didn't scrape. Set that over here for later. Now, let's find this piece here. Let's just see what happens. Could be terrible, but I don't think so. I think it's going to do exactly what I was hoping it would do. Let's take this and draw with this a little bit up here. Remember that plate from earlier? Well, it's working again. And you know, it's kind of that randomness. One of the people you know, when I say you're stuck on your abstract, you got to actually.
I'll explain why later.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna do this. This is the last pole. Here we go. You ready? Very pretty. There it is. We'll clean up that mess later. Wasn't it fun today? We had fun. We did some really fun new stuff. Remember, hashtag create without fear. I'm David Austin with davidaustingallery.com and my beautiful wife, Kristen, and we are happy that you came and visited us today. We'll see you again soon. Next week is special. We'll be doing a bunch of stuff with 6 other abstract artists. It's going to be a fun tutorial live painting session with them. So until next week, have a great week and make some art. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to share this, and I am going to immediately.
Is that on?
Immediately.